Hey guys, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Walking Dead Episode 1 video. Just careful for spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. We're just going to go through the comic book Easter eggs and talk about how we got kicked in the nuts. Twice. Most of you were probably thinking about death predictions going into the episode. Like when we got through the second commercial break and we still hadn't found out, I just had the horrific thought that they were going to make us wait till the end of the episode to actually find out the way they broke it up with Rick's flashbacks. Most of the episode was told from Rick's perspective as he was experiencing all this. And I love the idea of an episode that's just told from the perspective of Rick and Negan, but then they went back to the more traditional format after they finally revealed that it was Glenn and Abraham, and they were really like the safe picks. So let's just do top 10 WTF and comic book Easter eggs. They did a lot of comic book stuff, and I'll explain like the big change. Number 10, Negan arrives, issue 100 in the comics. The thing is that episode 100 of The Walking Dead will be the first episode of Season 8, and they renewed the series for Season 8 last week. It may have even been 2 weeks ago. So before they ever dropped an episode of Season 7, they renewed it for a full Season 8. There are people inside AMC that want Walking Dead to go on forever. I mean, it makes more money than almost any other TV show in the history of the planet, so of course they want to keep it going as long as possible. But from a storytelling perspective, Robert Kirkman has said that there's so much more for him to tell in the comics. And just to give you an idea for where they're at, so I said Negan debuted during issue 100 of the comics. They're on issue number 159 now. So if they're already way past that, and Kirkman is saying the comics have a lot more story left to tell, then there's so much more that they could do on the TV show. They could probably get to season 10 if they really wanted to pretty easy. So Negan debuts issue 100 as a way to tell the fans, hey, this is issue 100. We've been doing the comic for a long time. Please don't stop reading because there's still so much left to come. And he just dropped Negan, the TV show's version of that scene, which was basically like the finale from last season and this episode combined. You kind of have to combine those two episodes. They were pretty faithful to most of the comic book moments, and probably the biggest change was the Abraham kill. Number 9 though, teasing cutting off Rick's hand. They did this for most of the episode. The way he asked Rick, do you have a right-hand man? The way he played with Rick's axe, the way the camera filmed it, like they would actually shift perspective so that Rick's hand and the axe were in frame. So you start to freak out a little bit. Oh my God, they're trying to tell us something. He even sanitizes it. Here, you're gonna need this. And then number 8, he forces Rick to cut off Carl's left arm. Are you a southpaw? So you're just sitting there wondering what's gonna happen. Like that's the definition of suspense. When they just hold you in that moment, there's no real action, just everyone shitting their pants. So number 7 was the face that Negan was trying to get out of Rick. Rick is now like a scared dog, and that's kind of the way it happened in the comics. It sets off this big arc for Rick where his personality shifts. He becomes this really weak person, and his journey becomes trying to get back to badass level Rick. But there's this period in the comics where he's like this scared dog. He almost seems kind of disgusting, even though you can understand like what's happened to him here. He just has this complete mental breakdown when Negan says he's gonna kill everyone if he doesn't chop off Carl's arm like a slice of salami. So that's gonna last. Even though we saw like the flash forward in the trailer for next week's episode, inside he is broken. Like at the end of the episode, number 6, Maggie wants war. We have to get him, we have to go, we have to fight. Rick's just like, no, he's not having any of that. There will be no fighting. He is now like a little abused animal who rolls over on his belly when he gets afraid. So my number 5 though was like the set design, like the way, when Negan draws him out in the RV and he has to jump onto that hanger that they threw over the side of the overpass, which then starts to bite him as he's falling into the pile. Negan saves him, but as he's rolling to get the axe, he rolls next to the head. Just the whole way they designed that scene was amazing. That was when I still thought that it was just going to be Rick and Negan for the entire episode. And it was great. You could actually do an entire episode like that. I feel like we're headed for some Carl stuff. Like there's a really awesome Carl arc when Negan debuts in the comics. If you want to read that, obviously it starts after issue 100. But you can kind of see like the people that they killed, what that's going to do for the characters that were close to them. Like it's a big thing for Maggie's character arc. This is also a big thing for Carl's character arc, and it has to do specifically with the Negan character. So depending on what they do from the comics, we'll talk about that as they go along. But number 4, Daryl is now their hostage. If you step out of line, I'll cut off pieces of him, send him to you. Better yet, I'll bring him and make you do it. So that's a big thing, making you do it, just like he did with the axe. Oh no, I'm not going to cut his arm off, I'm going to make you do it. But the other thing that made this so much worse, not the way that they teased you with Daryl dying because he lashed out when Negan was like, anybody that lashes out is dead. So I don't think that they had the guts to kill Daryl just because he's one of the most popular characters. Everybody would riot. But Dwight still has his compound bow, and I feel like even though I think Dwight's going to be in a couple more episodes, he will be one of the first big acts of retribution. When they start taking down saviors eventually, you'll have that amazing moment where Daryl kills Dwight and takes back his bow. Think about how much everyone cheered when Daryl took his motorcycle back. That was an amazing moment. So now we have the bow to get back. That's going to be awesome, but it's probably not going to happen for a while. Number 3 was that dream sequence at the end. If you were confused by that because you're like, okay, they're still alive and Glenn has a child in his lap, that was meant to be a visualization of a thing that would never happen. As Negan had that voiceover where he said, you think this is Sunday dinner? No, that's not happening. So this moment here isn't something that actually happened. It was a potential future had they not met Negan. And that's another thing too, Maggie almost blamed herself. You are out here because of me. Although a lot of people would also blame Rick too because he was the leader that told them what to do because of this big situation. So really there's a lot of blame to hand around, but really Negan is so terrible, they would have gotten to a moment like that no matter what they had done. But number 2, suck my nuts. Abraham goes out in style. What a way to go. He takes it like a champ, and I hope you were not eating anything when they panned down and showed like the viscera, just like the pile of guts and gore, which is why, number 1 WTF was the Glenn kill, just because it was the comic book moment. It went down exactly like it did in the comics. He had the line of dialogue where he's trying to speak, but he barely can. His eyes all bugged out. You can see here they made it look almost exactly like it did on the page. So even though they played a lot of tricks on us with the way they cut the episode up with all the commercial breaks and used the flashbacks, they still did the comic book thing. So just expect more of that this season. A lot of Negan moments from the comics, but that are kind of broken up and told in different ways. So the next big things that are coming are the Kingdom, Ezekiel, Shiva the Tiger, can't wait to see the tiger, and getting a deeper dive in the society of the saviors in the reign of Negan. So the first big arc of this season is going to be Negan exerting control over everyone, like this new life of servitude that they're entering into. But there's all kinds of stuff that they can do in the back half. I think it's way too soon for stuff like All Out War if you've read the comics. You have the Whisperers. There's still so much stuff that they can do. But really now the task at hand is getting to know the Saviors better, all those characters, and then meeting all of the people at the Kingdom. So let me know in the comments what was your favorite moment from the episode and how many of your predictions came true when it came to the deaths. I feel like Abraham and Glenn were the safe picks, so most people probably guessed right. The thing about Abraham, the reason why I think they killed him is 1, because he's a big dude, so Negan probably saw him as a potential threat that he wanted to neutralize when he had the chance, but also, like, just from a writer's perspective in the writer's room, he'd gotten to this really zen state, he was happy, he'd started living his life the way he thought he should, so it was almost like he'd gotten to this new level of heaven, which means that that's when you pull the rug out from under him. So the minute a character feels too happy, too safe, too powerful, that's when they die. So for now, I think all the main characters, at least the main characters, maybe not supporting characters, but all the main characters that are still alive are safe, at least for the first half of the season. But get hype, it's going to be awesome. I'm really happy with the direction they go. I feel like bringing Negan on, not only is it going to crush in the ratings, that's probably why they renewed the series early, because they're like, oh yeah, Negan, all this stuff is going to crush. People are going to love this. But I feel like it actually did pay off. Like, I'm really excited to see what's coming from Jeffrey Dean Morgan's Negan character. Jeffrey Dean Morgan was great in the episode too. I feel like he's going to be a lot of fun. It's a really special actor that can make you love a person that is that terrible. But I am starting the weekly Walking Dead giveaway. It's a $20 Amazon gift card. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. If there are any bonus videos that you guys want me to do, just let me know in the comments. But it is going to be an awesome season. I'm going to have to go vandalize some stuff with Lucille here. She's a vampire bat. She's so thirsty. While you guys wait for my next video to post, though, you can click up top to learn all about the Deadpool 2 drama, the reason the director dropped out, and you can click down here for like a really funny trailer from Ryan Reynolds on why the Deadpool movie just crushed so hard earlier this year. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.